are back to talk about the Polar Loop. This really isn't the Polar Loop, but we're going to talk all about it today. About 2 months ago, Polar sent out a very early announcement that they will be releasing a new device sometime later this year, which was kind of a weird thing to do. However, today is that day. Unfortunately, the reason why I'm holding a Whoop band here is because the Polar Loop wasn't sent to me early to test out. I think they ran into some final feature issues and they held it back from reviewers, so my full in-depth review will have to wait. That'll be coming down the road. However, I did have a call with Polar, some Q&A sessions with them, and I learned a lot about this device, so that's what I want to talk about in this video today. The ins, the outs, what seems interesting, and some kind of odd things as well. So what is the new Polar Loop? Essentially, it's a lot like the Whoop band here. It's a simple, affordable, low-profile, screenless device, much like what we've seen from some of the competition, including the Amazfit Helio strap I'm wearing up here. Here in late 2025, it seems like these screenless devices are all the rage right now, and this is Polar's take on it. As for availability, the new Polar Loop will be on pre-order as of today while you're watching this video, and it will start shipping about 2 weeks from now. And the price will come in at $179, and that is both in US dollars and euros. Same price across the board. One important note about that price though is that the new Polar Loop will have no subscription. It's subscription free, unlike the Whoop band here, which could cost you up to $359 per year if you opt for the expensive MG model I have here. So Polar is positioning the Loop device somewhere in between the high-end Whoop band here and the more budget-friendly Amazfit Helio strap here, because this device is $99. As for the hardware itself, again, I don't have one, but I've seen lots of images about this device, and this device will come in various different colors. So there's going to be a grayish sand option that's got like a gold accent to it. There's an all black version, and then there's one called brown copper, which is kind of cool looking. It's sort of a deep copper color. On top of that, when you purchase direct through Polar, you can actually customize your band however you like it. So you can choose the color of the device itself and the color of the band separately. You can also purchase additional bands for a reasonable price of about $20. The hardware itself is really simple. It's a minimalistic screen-free device, and I think it actually looks really nice compared to a lot of these screenless devices out there. It looks like a more premium offering compared to even the Whoop band here. The device itself only weighs 29 grams, which is insanely light and something you probably won't even notice on your wrist. And of course, it is water resistant to 30 meters, so you can wear it showering or even swimming if you want to. And when it comes to the build quality of the device, it kind of looks different than a lot of these devices. So there is some plastic bits on the bottom part of the device, but the entire top of it is actually made out of a stainless steel, which kind of gives it a premium touch. And in terms of battery life, the new Polar Loop will last you about 1 week or 8 days on a single charge. Again, we'll have to see how that shakes out in real life. Taking a look at some of the images of the back of the Polar Loop, you can see that it does feature an integrated heart rate sensor. Now, this heart rate sensor is Polar's Precision Prime heart rate sensor. This is the same heart rate sensor that Polar uses on various wearable devices from a lot of their smartwatches. However, it's a little bit different compared to Polar's newer, higher-end smartwatches like the Polar Grit X2 Pro here. This one does feature their Elixir biosensing technology. As for accessories, at the time of launch, they're only going to have wristbands available. I did ask Polar about this, if they plan to have like bicep bands, for example, and the answer to that was kind of unclear, but I can only expect that as time goes on, they will add more accessories to the lineup. When it comes to connectivity, I had a lot of questions about this as well. This, of course, is a Bluetooth device that will sync to the Polar Flow app on your phone. That's where you'll collect all your activity and wellness and sleep data in one place. Interestingly though, the new Polar Loop only features one Bluetooth connection, and that's used to connect to Polar Flow on your phone. Unfortunately, this means that the new Polar Loop cannot broadcast a heart rate signal, a lot like these other devices here. So the Whoop band and even the Amazfit Helio strap here can broadcast their heart rate signal, so you can use them as an external sensor for other devices. Again, unfortunately, on the Polar Loop, this is not an option and it won't be at launch. I don't know if they'll be able to figure that out with one Bluetooth radio, but I guess, again, time will tell. Speaking of Bluetooth connections, let's talk about the ecosystem with the Polar Loop. So even though it only has one Bluetooth connection, it can still work with other Polar devices. So if you wear a Polar watch on a daily basis, but you don't like sleeping with it, you can swap out your watch with the Polar Loop, wear that to bed, and then in the morning, all of that data will be synced in one place. You can also interchange throughout the day depending on your activity. For example, if you can't wear a smartwatch to your kickboxing class, you could wear the Loop. Speaking of data, let's talk about what the Polar Loop actually collects and what kind of insight you'll gain from it. So the first thing and the most basic thing is going to be your daily activity. This is your step count and calories burned and all of the basics throughout the day. On top of all of your daily activity, you can also track your training and workouts. And this will happen automatically in the background. So if you're wearing a Polar Loop and you decide to go for a run, the Loop will identify that you're doing something active and it will track that as an activity within the Polar Flow app. After the activity, you'll see all of the data like your heart rate data, your time in zones, your energy consumption, your cardio load, and workout duration all in one place. With that said, all of these automatic activities will not be categorized. So if you go for a run in the morning and a ride on your bike at night, both those activities will show up as just a standard activity. They won't say run or bike ride. If you do want to categorize them, you have to go in and manually do that. And that's where something like the Whoop Band shines because of its auto category algorithm. It can figure that out for itself. Not a huge deal, but it is something worth mentioning. On top of the automatic activities though, you can also start a manual activity using the Flow app on your phone as well. And when you do that, you will get a full view of your running or cycling activity because you can utilize the phone's internal GPS antenna for that activity. So not only will you get your heart rate data from the Loop Band itself, you also get your GPS track as well. And then again, you can sync that over to something like Strava after the fact if you want to do that. Now, on top of tracking your activity and training data, you can also track your sleep, of course. The Polar Loop will track your sleep automatically and it will show you all of your metrics from your sleep duration and your stages, and it will utilize Polar's excellent nightly recharge feature found on several of their watches. Speaking of the ecosystem though, let's talk about the Polar Flow app for a second. During my discussion with Polar, they did dive into some future updates that are coming to the Polar Flow app, and they looked really interesting. To be honest, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say about it or show you, but they did show some concept art about what it might look like, and it looked much better, much more modern, more polished, and it had more features. So if you're getting kind of bored of the current Polar Flow, I think some changes are coming up right around the corner, so just hang on for that. With that said, let's dive into my final thoughts on the Polar Loop after their announcement and going through their conversations with them and learning all about it. I think it's pretty interesting. It's a device that I think a lot of people were waiting for. The price at $179 seems fair for what you're getting. The hardware does seem pretty premium, and it seems to be a step up from something like the Amazfit Helio strap here in terms of, physical quality. But it does lack a few things that the competition does have. For example, Whoop can automatically categorize your activities without having to do anything manual after the fact. The Whoop Band also offers more advantages in terms of metrics with their strain, sleep, and recovery algorithm, and it does feature ECG or electrocardiogram and even measures your blood pressure on the MG model here. Of course, it's much more expensive, but it does have a few extra features. But then on the other side of the spectrum, in the budget category, is the Amazfit Helio strap here, coming in at just $99. And this device has a few features that the Polar Loop doesn't have, including the biocharge metric, which I think is kind of an interesting tool. It's also got slightly longer battery life and the ability to broadcast your heart rate to nearby devices, which again, the Polar Loop doesn't have. With that said, Polar does have a good reputation of science-backed algorithms and good heart rate sensor accuracy and technology, so this could be a more reliable device. And we won't know more than that until they start shipping and until I can get my hands on one to start testing here, which will be happening in the very near future. And again, if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below so you don't miss that video when it comes out in the future. So that's really it for this video, a quick rundown of of the features and specs and some of the answers to questions I had, at least. Now I want to hear from you in the comments down below. Are you interested in the new Polar Loop? Were you waiting for this device to drop before pulling the trigger on something like the Whoop Band or the Amazfit? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, after you're done commenting down there, check out the links in the description down below, where I'll have links to all of the things I talked about in this video, including the Polar Loop, the Amazfit Helio strap, the Whoop Band. I do have a discount code for that one, so check that out. And check out the links over to my merch store. We can pick up a sweet Chase the Summit hat like that. Uh-oh, it's focusing on me. All right, friends, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you found it helpful, and stay tuned because there's a lot more coming. We're not done yet. I'll see you very soon. Bye.
I get ready, feeling too trippy, get it cracking like a levy. I'ma show 'em all how to party if the